how to stop staring at girls' boobs. I mean, that'd technically work, right? I mean, if there's girls' boobs in front of you and you do this, then you're not really staring at boobs anymore. What's up, guys, and welcome back to damn.dog, or the WikiHow Game, or whatever you want to call it. You guys really enjoyed the last time that I played this. I had a ton of fun. This game makes me laugh so much, so I decided to play it again. And if you missed the first episode, pretty much the way that it works is we're given a picture from an actual WikiHow article, and we're given 4 recommendations as to what that article could be. So here we seem to have a man whose nightmares are haunted by the time he saw a lime get murdered by a bunch of other vegetables and fruit. I have really no idea, but it says that it could be how to be strong, how to respectfully decline sex. No thank you, vegetables, I don't want you in me today. How to be a hipster girl, or how to become famous on the internet. You know what, I feel like you can get famous on the internet for doing just about anything. Not eating your fruits and vegetables is probably one of them. How to be a hipster girl. Do you think fruits and vegetables are a little bit too mainstream for a hipster? And again, the respectfully declining sex thing I want to lean towards, but I'm going to assume it's how to be strong. This person is clearly dealing with a lot of inner anxiety over the death of that lime. Yeah, how to be strong, that's right. Next, we seem to have the various range of emotions demonstrated by Voldemort, and one is good and one is bad. It says how to know if your boyfriend is being disrespectful to you, how to act like Bella from Twilight. That's a front runner. Those are pretty much her. You know what? No, those aren't her 2 emotions. She doesn't have emotions. How to get over a crush on your best friend, or how to play the alto saxophone. I want to guess Bella from Twilight because it's just so freaking perfect, but I have no doubt that that is probably how you're supposed to hold your mouth to play a saxophone. You probably don't want too much teeth. There's some kind of really bad BJ joke there, but I'm not going to say it. Saxophone, how to play the saxophone. I don't even know. Speaking of hot blowies, we seem to have a girl that is, it's just an A+ drawing, don't get me wrong. I really do appreciate when the WikiHow artists bring their kids to work, but they shouldn't be doing the work for you, right? And I'm also really curious about that hand. Is that the hand that's holding Logan's hand in the new movie poster? Because that is a really long hand. How to get over a crush on your best friend? How to spot a catfish? How to tell if a church is a cult? Yeah, that looks pretty cultish to me, cult of the terribly drawn hands. Or how to prevent identity theft? Wow, this one's actually going to be a challenge. I'm gonna guess it's not gonna be prevent identity theft because you're not very recognizable if you look like you've been drawn by a 6-year-old. How to tell if a church is a cult? Yeah, I'm not really getting any cult vibes. Again, the orangutan hand might have something to do with the cult, but probably not. Catfish, right? Catfish is like somebody on the internet who pretends they're somebody else, right? Maybe it's how to get over a crush on your best friend, right? Maybe? No, how to spot a catfish. I guess I can't spot catfishes. Guys, I said it was okay to bring your kids to work, but again, you can't just go from having an 8-year-old draw it to a 3-year-old. What the hell is this? How to respond to fundamentalists? How to choose a rigorous college schedule for your first year? How to get over an anime addiction? How to talk to girls as a teen boy? What? Okay, I'm not seeing any kawaii eyes, probably not anime. Yeah, not getting the whole college feeling. People look a little bit too, there's a smile there. You don't see smiles in college. How to respond to fundamentalism, I don't know what that means. So let's go with, how to talk to girls as a teen boy. That guy looks like he's got no freaking clue. Nope, it was college. She must just be visiting. Next, we have a woman who is talking to her boyfriend, but really thinking about the love of her life being heart-spotted panties. It's PG-13. I probably should just blur the whole thing out right now. How to control rosacea? How to spot a catfish? We know it's not that one. How to not get nervous, or how to get your nipples pierced. I don't think that's gonna get your nipples pierced, right? You can't just think of something and get your nipples pierced. I sure hope you can't. Oh, I bet you it's how not to get nervous, because the idea is you should picture everybody, you know that old stupid saying, picture everybody in their underwear? There you go, got it. You're supposed to picture them in their underwear, not picture underwear. I also don't think that's what he's gonna be wearing. Next, we have the guy from Tupperware Remix Party hanging out with a girl who has a whole lot of personality. Let's just put it that way. How to have Jehovah's Witnesses go away. You know what? If you answer the door like that, you got the lights going behind you, I'm gonna guess that they're gonna go away. How to make a friend fall in love with you. Ooh, would the hat do that? How to visit Laguna Beach, California? Never been there. Is this a Laguna Beach thing? Or how to dissolve the ego? Oh man, it could be like 3 or 4 of these. I'm gonna guess it's Laguna Beach. That sounds like a place full of assholes. Ooh, I was right. If you're from Laguna Beach, I am so sorry. If you ever wanted to know how to control your urge to masturbate, well, the trick is either to whistle or yell at people. I honestly don't know where to start. I can't tell if he's constipated, if he's the opposite of constipated, maybe that's an O face, maybe somebody just kicked him in the dick. There's anything could be going on from here down to cause that face. There's a whole range of emotions, I'm just not gonna get into it all. How to stand up for yourself? Nope. How to give someone a hickey? I think you need more of a closed mouth for that. How to stop staring at girls' boobs? I mean, that'd technically work, right? I mean, if there's girls' boobs in front of you and you do this, then you're not really staring at boobs anymore. Or how to become an Olympian. It's probably something stupid like how to become an Olympian, but I'm gonna give it to the girls' boobs. Yeah, you know what? I hope this one gets used for girls' boobs. Wikipedia, get on that. We seem to have somebody measuring a girl's waist. I can't even imagine what this would be for. How to become an alpha male. Everybody knows the Taylors are alpha. How to choose a puppy? What? Choose a puppy that's small enough to eat? How would that have anything to do with your stomach? How to support the arts? Or how to act like Sonic the Hedgehog? You know what? Completely unexplainable, doesn't make sense, kinda shit. I'm gonna give it to Sonic the Hedgehog. It was how to support the arts. Can't decide what I want more, the moldy cheese or the knockoff R2-D2. How to channel? How to have fun without friends? Well, yeah, I mean, you're probably not gonna have any friends if this is what you're thinking about all the time. How to win at arm wrestling, or how to start a cult. Cult of the moldy cheese. I feel like that's an actual thing. I'm gonna guess it's how to have fun without friends, because this guy looks like a bit of a loser. How to start a cult. How do I sign up for the knockoff R2-D2 cult? I'll drink the Kool-Aid. Here we have a young man and his first lover, and it's really just a tender thing to see how to be sexually empowered. God damn it. How to become good at knife fighting. Do you need to talk to your hands before a knife fight? Is that the trick? I've never been in a knife fight before. I'm sure I will be eventually, but you know, right now I'm trying to focus on YouTube. How to relax when you're sick, or how to get a boy to dance with you and then kiss you at the end for middle school. Because that's really important. For teenagers, very different. Middle school, you just gotta kind of hold your hand over their face, confuse them a little bit. Kids are stupid. That last one just seems way too specific, right? It's gotta be that. Nope. How to relax when you're sick. That was the last thing that I thought this would be. Why is looking at your hand relaxing? I can't imagine why there would be a WikiHow article about women thinking about fisting, but it could be how to say some common phrases in Esperanto, how to dance at a nightclub, how to run away from home, or how to buy firearms in California. Yeah, that's not a firearm. That's just an arm. This is a firearm, and then that's just an arm, okay? I'm gonna guess running away from home, because independence, right? Is that independence? That's independence. That's not fisting. Mine's out of the gutter. How to decide if you should become a stripper? The answer is no. Here we have just a bad idea in picture form. Everything about this is just so much nope. We have a guy hiding in the bushes behind a lovely lady, and he's saying she likes crime mystery thrillers as he writes it down in his notebook. No, just no. How to act like Sonic the Hedgehog? Again, unexplainable, kind of shitty, shouldn't do it, should've gave up a long time ago. Sounds a lot like Sonic to me. How to know when you'll get your first period? But I think he knows. How to make your boyfriend break up with you? No, probably not. How to flirt with a hot girl. Okay, I'm gonna guess this is the bad panel, the wrong panel. For the love of God, don't do this. Fingers crossed that that's not a helper. And finally, we have a picture that I really just can't explain. It's not very descriptive, there's not a whole lot going on here. How to know if your boyfriend is being disrespectful to you. That's definitely disrespectful. How to build a child's self-esteem. Probably not. I don't think if you just keep calling little Timmy a bitch that he's gonna feel better about himself. How to keep dogs off lawn. Oh, it could actually be that. If you're just bitch, get off the lawn, bitch, female dog. How to act like Bella from Twilight. Again, has the whole emotional range. Damn, I really wanted to be how to keep dogs off lawn because that would just be too perfect, but we saw that last episode, I'm pretty sure, so I'm just going to assume that is how to know if your boyfriend is being disrespectful to you. That's how you know. But that's going to be it for this episode of WikiHow, guys, and if you want to see more, as always, be sure to let me know because I would love to play again. I really enjoy this game because it's entirely my commentary. You know, it's very rare for me to actually get to play something that is 100% just me being a smartass. There isn't a whole lot else going on here. I have full range of creativity to just be an idiot, and it's a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.